I hope you're well. Please let me know if you can hear me. Um, Hi, Instagram. Okay, looks like my sound is fine. Hi, Facebook, YouTube, and everybody else, LinkedIn. So don't worry if you see me looking at two cameras. It's just because I've got two devices that I'm working with. So it is cold, guys. It is cold. It is cold. Sorry, let me switch off this. It is cold emhlabeni kuyabanda. Uyabanda emhlabeni. Oh God. Actually, it's not Emhlabeni, it's South Africa. We have in South Africa because there are other children right now that are sitting on some beaches somewhere in the sun. We are the only ones who are suffering in winter. So, but again, anyway, we are okay. So today for Instagram, guys, that you don't see me when I type in the topic of the session, we are talking about light workers versus let's call it shadow workers. So Mpho says emhlabeni akubandi emhlabeni kubanda thina. It's only us here, Mpo. We are being fried in the hell of winter. Other children are definitely living the soft life somewhere in some. But we will be okay. Oh, guys, the winter is not my best time of the year. So, hey, but yeah, I'm learning to deal with it. There's a season for everything. Also, the winter season is its own benefits. I don't know about winter benefits. I have no idea what they are, but apparently they are there, so it's okay. Now we're talking about light workers and shadow workers. So I wanted to talk about this, I think, during the weekend. Then I sort of didn't get time. I think there was so much stuff happening. So why I'm talking about this is because I think some of you have probably have heard me talk about the fact that here in Africa, below the equator, everybody who stays below the equator, mostly is Africa and Asia, okay, and Southern America. But most of these people are black in color, and most of these people, it's only 7% of the whole entire world. People who live beyond, below the equator is only 7% of their whole entire existence in the planet. So now these are the people who have been called to heal, to be healers. So you could be a doctor, a pastor, a psychologist, a sangoma, whatever you decide to be. But the 7% is those people that have been called to heal the whole entire planet. Now, unfortunately, things happened before everything that was a mess happened that got, specifically, I'll talk about Africa. Got even in Southern America, Southern America and Northern America, you can see the difference. You know the drama. We're not talking about that today. And you can look at places like India and those kind of places below the equator going to the east. You see the drama there. We're not going to talk about it again because we won't finish, right? So, but these people are, that's why there's 7% of them. There's not many of them, these healers, but they all live below the equator. So where you are right now in South Africa, you might be like, why is everybody being a healer now? Like, what's happening, guys? What's going on? Yeah, it's because they all live below the equator. That's their problem. They chose to come here. So everybody that incarnates and is sent to be a healer, they come through, and at this time they show up below the equator because that's what's happening. There are many things that I could say about this, but because of time, I don't want to make this video long. Like the last video we talked on stuff like this. It was 2 hours, so definitely I'm not doing 2 hours today. I've got my life to live. So I'm gonna make sure that this video is short, but we need to talk about this some more. So Now, as much as there are all types of healers here and in different forms, I said, from doctors to psychologists to pastors to sangomas, everybody is healing somebody for something in a certain way. And psychics and everybody else, like everything, prophets and everybody, like it's all same, one queue. In different ways for different purposes and different things. But then again, the same people below the equator, they also have, I mean, the people below the equator have serious powers compared to people above the equator. So again, below the equator is where everything happens. All the stuff, the darkness. Every person, sorry guys, every person that is above the equator that is ever doing voodoo or anything like that, lent it the side and took it there, and used it up for to look like where they are going. But all the darkness in terms of powerful, spiritual, whatever happens below the equator. Again, because, I mean, it makes sense, right? For whom much is given, much is required. So all power is the same. It just depends on how you're using it. So you have this one thing called power. It can be dark or light, depending on who has it. It's like money. Money is money. You have 2 million, it's 2 million. It doesn't, it's neutral until it lands on Sister Lesho's hands and she goes and she buys a Lamborghini and then she makes everybody feels like they're useless because she's got that. So I mean, it's money used by a person, or it lands in the hands of another person. This person takes the money and do amazing things, change people's lives, da 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 da. So just like power is neutral. And below the equator, guys, there is huge power. Like you will never understand. I do not even want to start to explain how much power is below the equator. Now, the equator is where the sun shines the most. If you go and check geography and whatever you have to check, you'll see that we have the most sun below the equator than any other place. Specifically, there are specific places in the northern hemisphere that actually gets the sun only for 2 or 3 hours a day. That's all they get. We get the sun for luck. Go to Cape Town, the sun doesn't go down there. It's 8 p.m., it's 9 p.m., it's still light outside. So that's the whole thing of we get the most sun because there is a lot of power here. Sun has the most amazing power, but the fact that the sun shines that much, I tell you, it's a big story. But okay, now the power depends on whose hands it lands. Then it can be good power or dark power. So, and again, once you have the power, you decide, you who has, not that once you have it, everybody has it. It's just that once you realize it, it's like you're a boy, but you don't know you're a boy. You're a girl, but you don't know you're a girl. So the day you realize, you're like, oh, hell yes, I am the thing. And then you start using whatever, the benefits of being a girl or a boy. But when you don't know, you can't sort of use it. So everybody has the power, but they might not be using it. The day your eyes are open to this, and then you can then decide where you want to go, what you're going to do about it. And again, there's so much that I could talk about in terms of realizing this and getting the awakening and how that happens and all that. We're going to have time to talk about those in other videos. Now, what I want us to talk about today is that then now all these healers then now get to use their gift or talent in different ways. So there are healers that don't even have to consult, have a place where people come and queue up one by one, we have a paid that, they are not going to have that. Or it's psychology consulting rooms, you come in, go out, some healers will have to do this work in the boardroom, will have to be managers, will have to be business owners, will have to be in all the spaces that we are in, there's always needs to be somebody who is a healer. And some person will tell you that I got a job in this place and I didn't even understand how I got it. It was so quick. I just got a call and I was told I'm needed there, and I went and they hired me without question, and then I'm working there. And then they paying me. I don't even understand how all this happened. But it's because every space needs a healer, and sometimes um you you're not the healer that is going to look like one, according to how we have been told how a healer must look like, but you are that healer. And when you are in that place, your energy changes a lot. Your energy fights the devils in that place. Your energy helps people to have a better working environment. So that is why I've always said to you, you don't have to be a healer that looks crazy. You must only know your powers so that you can use them. There's sometimes, let's just say you have a healer in the parliament. There are decisions there that are made. People are saying, fine, bring the brown envelopes. We've suffered enough. Who cares about the people? We're going to charge the man. And why there are people who are sleeping on the street. But if you are there and you are there because in your office as a healer, you will be able to know how to diffuse the power, how to diffuse that evilness, because those are people that are making decisions over if we have electricity or not, over if we people on the street get to eat or not. Those are like the most critical decisions that does a lot. And maybe you are that person who is supposed to go and be there in that space to make sure that you diffuse the energy. You are the light that is supposed to shine. And you sometimes don't even have to speak. You just your presence will make people think twice. Your presence will make people feel guilty about what they're about to do, about decisions they're about to make out of greediness and all these things. They just be like, oh, fine, let's take a bit and not all of it. Not just like, we're going to just take the country to the dry cleaners, So, but the thing is that you will have to awaken to this information about yourself. And when you awaken to the information about yourself, then you know how to use the power. Then you know that if I am in a boardroom meeting, and I tell you guys, it has happened many times where I'm in a boardroom meeting and somebody will come and ask me and say, you know what, you are really disturbing me right now. I will ask you that you just excuse yourself. Your presence is not working with stuff like I'm begging you. And I will know what the person means because I can see them, why they're what they're there, what they're doing. And it's either or they go type of a thing. But then it's because I know who I am and I am owning who I am, and I am using my power as much as they are using their power. I am not asleep like everybody else who is just there because it's a job. I am there. I know why I'm there. So, and I work with a lot of CEOs, and I've told them that they are not there because they are good enough, like they are special, that they can be CEOs. No, they are there to work. There's a whole lot of work they are there for that they do not understand. And when you start understand who you are, and when you start to understand what is the real deal about you, you then start to use the power in a way that does not only serve you, but it serves everybody. So that is when then we find these terms that have been said now, that there's people who are light workers and there are people who are shadow workers. Some call them dark, and you know what? I wouldn't call it dark. I wouldn't call it dark. I'll explain why I'm saying dark. I think the term shadow sort of makes more sense because it's not like a bad thing. It works. Like everything under the sun works for good. So I'm calling it shadow worker, and another person might call it a dark worker, another person might call it whatever they are calling it. So, but like I said, everybody has power, and power is neutral, and depending on whose hands the power is in, it will do as that, and it might become bad or good depending on what is happening. So now, light worker is somebody who does the healing of other people in the most comfortable way, in the most easy way, in the most flowing way. So maybe you might have heard somebody says, I do Reiki healing, I do angel healing, I'm an energy healer. If you are really an energy healer, because wow. Okay, and then there's things like counseling. I wouldn't really put psychologists there. Psychologists can be both sides, but counselors are mostly on the light side. Light side, as in, I don't want to say this, you might get me wrong, but they are on the comforting side. And let's say pastors, they again, just like in psychologists, let's say there are psychologists who are healing people using light work energies, and there are people who, they are psychologists, just like pastors, who are using shadow work healing. It's still healing, it's still working, it's still going there, but it's just shadow side. And you will see when I explain, then you will see probably examples, they'll come to your head. I really don't want to mention anybody like you, just. And definitely I'm not giving examples today because all my examples go wrong. So the light work is the work where you get the healing without the suffering. Okay, I think that might make sense more. Now, let us talk about the shadow work. The shadow work, then you have a healer. They have powers like everybody else, healing powers, gift, talents of healing people, definitely. But they haven't healed themselves. What is in their own baggage? They haven't healed. Now, everybody on a daily basis, we are all healing things every day, but there's a certain of level of healing that happens that sort of changes you from a shadow worker to a light worker. So you would have healed to a certain degree that the change happens. Now, if you are continually, of course, after you become a light worker, it doesn't mean that you stop healing. You are still healing because you are still in the 3D, stuff still happens. But there is a space where you can awaken to being a healer, but you are still working in the shadow part, the dark side of you. So how does that look like? So let's say you are a coach. I'm going to talk about coaches because I train coaches. Actually, the next coaches program starts 30 May. If you like to be a coach, you know that you can help people, give advice, give counseling, and you've been doing it all your life, you can get accreditation and get to be certified and do it, in a more formal way. Now, I train coaches. Most coaches, they go and they do a coach's course, maybe 12 weeks, maybe however amount of time, depending on what they are studying. And then they get accredited. And then they have a certificate. And they put their nice and beautiful certificate and they hang it on the wall. And they never, ever use it. Now, why is that? It's because being a coach is, of course, a qualification. It's something you learn. You get to understand. This is what you do in a session. This is what you don't do. This is how you help a person. This not. But it's also a very important healing tool. So now, of course, you are a coach, you are a healer. Now, a lot of coaches are like, no, listen, I'm not a healer, I'm just a coach. It's fine. Believe what you can. You know what. But the reason why, when I started coaching, I did my coaching in a class in New York. We were 37 students. Only 2 of us today are still practicing as coaches. Actually, when we graduated, we were the only 2 that went and became coaches. Everybody else hanged their certificates and they never practiced as a coach. Now you will say, why? Why will a person spend so much money and then not practice? It is because you need to heal before you can heal others. There is a lot of healing that needs to happen within you before you can heal others. Now, all healers go through too much in life. Like there's people who go through life and then they're like, well, we have got problems. Oh, well, nice. But when a healer starts telling you about their problems, you're like, aye, man, are you sure you've been through this? Are you sure you saw? I mean, a lot of people, even today, they still, when I tell them my story, I normally don't do it now because they're just like, how old are you? Hey, are you sure? Are you sure? Because it's like, man, it's way too much. So all healers get to their upbringing, the stuff they go through in life, it's just too crappy. It's a lot. But this is not because God is picking on you, God that doesn't love you, or your ancestors are trying to kill you, or they don't love you. Whatever you want to say, you are being trained. You have never seen anybody goes and say, I want a six-pack, and then goes and sit in the gym and come out with a six-pack. You need to get there and train those push-ups. Nobody has ever said, I've got a six-pack, and they didn't do a push-up. So you do the push-ups, and the muscle starts to strengthen, and the muscle starts to get into a six-pack position because you keep telling them every day. But it's not a nice thing. It's painful. So the moment a healer is going through all these things, they are being trained just so that they can be able to help the next person that comes to them for help. So when a person comes and say, hey, Busi, I'm broke, I'm like, how much are you broke? And the person's like, oh no, you know what, it's 2 million rand. I'm like, child, don't worry, I've been to 40. And then the person's like, oh, 500,000, I don't even know how I'm gonna pay it. I'm like, man, small stuff. Me, I'm from 40 million. Look at me today. Child, that thing is small. Now, so if you came out of 40, then definitely 500K is not a problem, right? It's not. But I had to go through all those things so that I can be able to come and make a way for others. Yesterday I went to a youth summit, and when I went on stage, there were so many girls and boys, like 20, maybe 1 to about 25. And I saw myself, and they are so hungry, they like, we want to do something, we want to have money, and I'm like, yo, this is me. I had one moment of my eyes were tearing up because I just saw myself. And I was like, oh, hell no, they're not going to see what I saw. I am going to give them everything they need to make sure that they don't go through what I went through, because I can see the passion, I can see their hunger in their eyes, I can see that they want knowledge, they want something. And I was like, oh my goodness, I was once there. And then guess what? Life did beat me up nicely. It beat me. But then guess what? Today I get paid for doing the talking about the same thing that I went through, and I get paid very well for just going into an organization and doing a talk and talking about my story, the same one. So I told him yesterday, I said, you are not going to sit here and feel sorry for yourself about anything, because everything that is happening to you now is going to pay you. Tomorrow it's gonna pay you big time. So when I was your age, I was sitting there and somebody told me what was about to happen to me, I would have thought this is a mess, this is a case. But guess what? Today, where I'm standing, I will say, bring it on. I will say, God, what else do you have for me that can show me flames? Because those flames pay up. Okay, got back to the story. So now, if you haven't healed, you just awaken to the fact that you've got powers, but you don't heal, the problem starts. Now, it doesn't mean that you can't heal people. It just means that you're going to heal them while you're beating them up. So you have all this blood all over you. So you're going to bleed on them. And that process doesn't mean that they are not getting healed, but you also just like smearing them with blood they don't know. So how does that look like? I mean, you have probably seen coaches on these streets. they will write a post that will tear you apart. And at the end, they will say, come to me for coaching. By the time they finish with this post, you're like, oh my God, I'm such a mess. I am such a mess. So this person is living their toxic environment through the post. And most of them, you will find them, they are always there every day. They live there, and that's their space to let it all out, and they are literally vomiting on everybody. Not that the stuff is not helping. I mean, you listen to it, you read it, you actually be like, oh my God, I'm that dark. And they tell you, oh yeah, you are gonna get killed if you go and what data men for money. That's why you know, like they will tell you stuff. I mean, it's not that it's not true. I mean, duh. But it's just going to be blood all over. They're going to bleed on you. They're gonna bleed on you. Not that they're not healing you, they are healing you. Don't take me wrong. But it's gonna be messy. Now, a light worker, on the other hand, will heal you calmly. I mean, lately, I mean, did I never ever drug anybody and bled on people? Oh, of course, I've done it. I mean, I've been doing this for 10 years. I can only talk about it now because I can see the light. I can see the difference. There was a time when I didn't see the difference, and I'm not saying I will never done it. Of course, I've done it. Of course, I've dragged people. Of course, I triggered people. You know, a person who feels nice about triggering people, and you're like, yes, I feel good when I triggering them. There's one lady that used to say it and say, she doesn't care. She wants to trigger people. She wants to be on the news. She wants to trend. Yeah, that's like, and now she's literally helping people with something like, but she wants to trend and trigger people and all the stuff. Is she not healing people? Of course she's healing people, but you know what? She's bleeding all over them. So one day the Lord helped me also. You know what? Jesus is great, is amazing. The Lord helped me. The Lord found me also. Now I don't have to use my shadow part, because literally I've cleansed most of it. I'm not saying I'm done cleansing my shadow side, but I've cleansed a lot that I don't need to see people suffer anymore for healing. Me also, I no longer suffer anymore. Some of you have heard me talk about fixing your spiritual chakras. When you fix your spiritual chakras, that's when, as a healer, it's so critical for you to fix your spiritual chakras, not just your physical chakras. Because when you fix your spiritual chakras, you stop the suffering. Right now, if the Lord wants to teach me about healing people in jail, I don't have to go into jail. I watch it on TV. The other day, the Lord was teaching me about drugs and stuff. I tell you, it was hectic, but it was TV. And then guess what? After that, I had a lot of people that came for drugs problem. So I don't have to go through the mess now to learn the lessons, because I have healed a lot of my own shadows. I have healed a lot of my own darkness. I've taken the dark and I've put it in the light, and then it's serving me now. So now I just call people Saturday morning, come through for a healing session, for a free healing session. Everybody that is on Instagram, they know there's a link on my Instagram that says on Saturdays we have a free healing session. Come through 7 a.m. There's no screaming, there's no shouting, there's no dragging on everybody. Just people come there and we do the healing, and people see the change in their lives, and they didn't have to cry about their shit one more time. So sometimes you'll find that, and this is again, like I said, even in churches, you'll find that the pastor is preaching a message that makes people cry and remember all the shit they are, and then they pray for them at the end. It's fine, it's healing. But also there are pastors who are not going to do that, who are not going to drag you and make you cry some more. They will just minister to you nice and quiet and easy. That's why I said mostly counselors do that. They just minister to you, and then, one time I went to a psychologist. Child, that woman, she dragged me nicely. Ooh, at the end I was like, okay, all right, I get it, but wow, I'm never coming back here. Because I had some understanding of that. You didn't have to put me through the shit. I have been through the shit. Like, should you just put me down that road one more time? So it's okay to heal. It's okay. And sometimes you have to heal with the blood all over, splat everywhere. And sometimes, I mean, that's why I always say to people, there are people who use chickens for healing, like, and stuff and stuff. I don't, because I have gotten to a place of only being able to use the light side of life. And if you must kill something, if something must die, if there must be blood anyway for you to be healed, I am saying hallelujah. Whatever that needs to be done, let it be done. Because wow, as long as we are healing. But there are different types of healing available there. There is the light side and there is the shadow side. I am definitely not calling darkness because I know it's not dark. It's healing, but it's just messy. And the people, I will say that I actually do respect people who have not healed themselves, who try, and do it for others, because wow, life is hard. Kunzima emhlabeni. So as much as they're healing you while they're bleeding on you, I mean, they are doing something. And you do wake up. Well, there are others that don't wake up. They just go way, way far to the dark side. Now they just don't even look at the shadows. They go like way down the dark side. and they turn this whole thing into, money making scheme and doing all, the stories. You've seen the people on TV taking the money from the people. Are they not healing them? Of course they are healing them, but hey, they will be left broke. So, like I'm saying, I don't know. Healing is healing. So, when you are going out there looking for healing, why I'm doing this video is that you will notice what is going on so that you do not blame anybody. Because there are people who come to me and say, hey, what's this? So now there must be 15 cows, this and this. Kumoshakele lana, kumele kufikswe loku, the surname, what. And I'm like, yes. Accept the healing if it's been given to you, but just know what's going on. Like, it's healing. It's definitely healing. Don't complain now. But there are different types. So when you see me do what I'm doing, I am just doing what works for me. But it's not the only thing available. There is a lot that is out there, and all of us need healing. So either you're getting your healing from a shadow work, or you're getting your healing from a light work. Getting your healing from a light worker might not be dramatic. You might not find the drama. You might not find the long queues. There might not be, I mean, it's famous, but you, depending on again who you are and who is going with you in the spirit, you are going to be led to a person that is correct for you. Because sometimes there are people who can never minister healing to you because of how much they are caring from themselves that they haven't let down. So right now, me myself, there are very few people that can be able to help me, because there is a level of how much you have healed that allows you to heal a certain group of people. So you will notice that most of the people that are doing shadow work, they're healing the most toxic and broken people, because in that level, it's a fight. The blood is flowing every angle. And they can write posts and drag them down and then give them a little bit of a panado. It works. It's getting them somewhere. But the more you grow in the spirit, the more you become older, then the type of healing that will work for you is different. So you will notice that they will be said, broke people and low class people will go to a sangoma, and then You know, when you start to earn a little bit of money, you go to church. When you're really, 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 really good, you stop going to Sangoma, you stop going to church, you go to psychologist. It's the same thing. It's exactly the same thing. It's just that it depends on where in where in the timeline you are at. It's the same thing. So when now you realize your own powers, your own specific, because like I remember I said everybody has the power and it depends on how you use the power. So just like you have this gift, you go into a certain workplace and they start to, and most of the people who are healers in the workplace, when they get there, people start to treat them a different way. They get threatened by them, specifically when you haven't realized your own powers. People everywhere you go, specifically in the workplace, they get threatened by you. They don't want you there. They fight you a lot, but it's because you haven't said yes to who you are. And the moment you take the time to say yes to who you are, then the same people start to respect you. They start to say, hey, you need to be the manager. Hey, you need to be the leader. Hey, you need to be the supervisor. You need to be the CEO. Because you have power that you are not using, it is making this drama around you. It is this, if I could talk about the blood splitting everywhere, it's more like you are being a dark worker because you do not realize the power you've got. So you are more toxic because you are not a manager. But if you were a manager, you'll be able to lead people and do more amazing things. So when you start to say, oh my goodness, actually I am sent here for a purpose bigger than what I thought. And a lot of healers will find them saying, I hate my job, da 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 da. Yeah, really, you do the job, you know how to do it, but it's not the reason you are there. The reason you are there is to lift up the energies, to bring the energy up. So you need to be in management. You need to be the top one that can lead this. So the moment you say yes to this power that you have, to this energy that you are, you notice that automatically people now start changes. The same people that were throwing stones at you, they start to say, no, you are supposed, the next position, it should be given to you. You are they take you serious now. They start to take you serious. They give you the money you want. They give you the position, the power that you deserve. But what has happened? You woke up to who you are. Now, the waking up to who you are doesn't have to be dramatic. You don't have to come to work wearing a mabai. Like, seriously, nobody should be doing that anyway. Oh, well, I'm sorry. No, I didn't say that. Okay, but anyway, you don't have to show up like that. But then the thing is that you know the powers you've got now, and when you show up in this working environment, then everybody says, yes, ma'am, yes, sir, and they give you your position, they give you istulo sakho, they give you your they allow you to be the leader of this territory. So a lot of times when you are given this power and you don't understand it and you're not using it accordingly, it turns against you. This is the shadow part. This is the I am not healed part. This is the I am, it's blood, it's fight, it's all these things. But the moment you say yes to the power, you then start to be a light worker. When you're a light worker, people respect you. People are papeli. People, they want to hear from you. People want to know your contribution. People want to acknowledge you for what you've done. People want you to lead. People want you to tell them what to do. You have your feminine energy, your masculine energy controlled very well, that people respect you because now you're a light worker. So if you didn't get the other stories that I was telling you, because I mean, that one is for the industry I'm in of healers. But I'm now talking about you as a person who has been given the gift, but doesn't have to use it as a pumangena, next. So you then become a light worker in that environment, in that business. So you are in the catering business, and then now you start to be called to come and cater for the VIPs. because they need a light worker. Those people, they always need somebody who's got that energy. And that's why they do not use any and other just service provider. Then you start to be a service provider for those kind of people because they need your energy, because they doing a lot. Their energy is a lot. They don't need a person who's toxic. So then you start to be the one who's preferred designer, hair, makeup, whatever houses they want to buy from you, because now you are a light worker, because you said yes to your power, you said yes to who you are, and everybody now wants you to be leading them, wants you to lead. And of course, I mean, there's benefits. I mean, you get the money, child, please, but then also you get them, you get to use who you are better. And also you get the less stress around the thing of fighting people for nothing and being a threat and being traumatized for things you don't know. Okay, so let me see, there's somebody who has a question, so you can definitely type your questions on the comment section there. Tenji says, I don't want to be the manager and I'm constantly being put in leadership role, and yes, I always get the worst work request and people be like, yes, you can do it. I'm like, why me? Okay, so exactly, there's Tenji, she's saying exactly what I was saying. So because people can see that you are the thing. So a lot of people will say, when they come and become coaches, they will say that, the family, when there's something, they call me. I'm the one who's consulted. Somebody is about to divorce somebody, they call me. This one has left school, they call me. This one is fighting with this one. The sister is fighting with the brother. You are always the one who's called. The people, when they've got problems, they come to you. They ask you for advice. You give them $1 million advices. They go and make millions. You are still broke. When it's because they see who you are. You are the one who are not saying, I am actually a coach. I can actually help people. Like, I'm not even trying, because that's the whole point. When you are given this kind of a gift, you can help people without even trying. Hence, you just being in that workplace, it's everything. So guess what? You don't even have to do anything. You already been a coach since day one. You've been coaching people since you were 9 years old. You've been helping people since you were in matric. People have always been benefiting from your energy, but you never said, when I am who I am. So the process of saying I am who I am is the one that allows you now to chink, chink, chicking, laugh all the way to the bank. Because guess what? It's not like you're selling t-shirts, you need to go and stock t-shirts. No, you are the t-shirt. God made you the thing. So even when you are in management, you just have to be there to say, yes, let the party go on. It's not difficult for you. It's easy, and you will see that people keep giving you more work. They are just telling you, you can do this. You are everything we need. You are the stuff we've always been waiting for. So, but then because you haven't said yes to this power, then you do not realize all of this. Then you think people are picking on you. Then you think life is hard. No. So then you need to then move from the shadow work to the light work. Because once you're a light worker, guess what? Everything flows right. Everything makes sense. You have the money, you have the fulfillment. You then can grow as that healer in whichever specification that you fall under, in that business, in that job environment, in that maybe you want to be a coach or in anything like that. So like I said, we're starting the coaches class this coming 30th, next week, Monday, 30th May. And it is a process for you to then understand what a coach is: somebody who helps people reach their goals, somebody who helps people understand themselves, somebody who helps people change their lives. So please do sign up for that. It is quite an amazing program. It's going to run for about 4 months. At 4 months, we will be able to accredit and get your accreditation as a coach, but you would have gone through a lot of practical and theory during this time, this 4 months. I'm doing it with an amazing lady that is also an amazing, powerful healer. So it's totally best thing ever for me. So I'm really excited for the 30th. And if you would like to join that, please send an email to my office, and also you could send a WhatsApp. I'm typing it. It's the WhatsApp line, so that you can be able to ask for inquire on the information, all the information that you need. Now, again, on June, the first week on June, we are having a healers retreat. We are going to be in Balito, in Durban. So when you realize that it is way more, I need to understand really what is going on with me, with this whole journey of me being gifted, spiritually gifted, and you really want to understand what's up, please join us. We're going to be there for 3 days, from the 10th to the 12th of June. So we always have a theme. This time our theme is magic. We've had a lot about who can do magic, who can do the science, who can do the craft, who can't. How do you protect yourself from the crafts? How do you protect yourself from science? That is the easy part. The part you need to understand is the spiritual power part. How does spiritual powers work? How the ones you have, how do you activate them for yourself? Because once you've activated your own spiritual powers, nothing can touch you. Nothing. And there are people who are using the craft and using the science, they will tell you there are people you should never try. You try them, you are dead, you are finished. So we're going to be learning about the magic, spiritual powers. How does the stuff work? So if you want to join us, please make sure that you send a WhatsApp there and you inquire about the information. I am going to be putting links on the more information on my Instagram stories. I'll also put, I think on Instagram and LinkedIn, I'll put a line, check my wall, a link where you can click and find more information about the healers retreat in June, and about the coaching program that starts now in May. Any other questions, guys? Let me see. Other questions. I'm really trying to keep this short. But anyway, if you've got any other questions that you have, you can send it on the WhatsApp line. You can send me an Instagram DM. That one works better. I always get the messages there. So you can ask questions that you've got about any of the stuff, but I'm definitely going to send the links on my stories, and I will post them on some of the social media links. Tando says, hi, Sis Pussy. I want to ask how many times one used the meditation we used on Saturday. Okay, so that one, because we were working with your sacral chakra, it's quite a sensitive chakra. So you can do it once a week, Tando. That would be great, because you need to allow the energy to be absorbed by the earth. So do it, and then find yourself in that place where you can be able to ground, like we talked. Once a week should be fine. Okay, so Mavis says, wow, very interesting. Thank you, Mavis, for joining us. And then I've got a few users that are not writing in English. Somebody else says they are in Brazil. Thank you so much for joining us from Brazil. By the way, the first book I sold when I released my book 4 years ago, was 4 or 5 years ago, was Brazil. We got an email from Brazil ordering books, and we couldn't even understand it. We had to go on Google Translate, and that was the first order ever that I ever got for my book, was from Brazil. So yeah, no, I mean, of course, Brazil are under the equator, duh. Makes sense, right? Okay, so Tando says thank you. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you so much. We're gonna talk a little bit more about this kind of stuff. And I know that this is information we all need to hear. And as long as we're understanding that healing is healing, it can be from a little bit of a dark place, or it could be from the lighter place. But all of it is healing. It's using blood and stuff, and it's healing. It's using just water and prayer, it's healing. So hey. Somebody else says, Mina, I love you. Thank you so much, guys, for always tuning in. Please click on the like button, subscribe button, share button. And so if you do all of that, you're making it easy for yourself to see it when I have the live videos, because I never know when I'm doing them. So if you click on the like and subscribe and share, then Facebook or whichever platform here will remind you when I have a live video so that you can see it. Or if you missed it, you can be able to see the recording. So, but all of these are recorded on YouTube and on Instagram. You can go anytime there and find them. Even on my LinkedIn, they are always there. So thank you so much, guys. Have a lovely, what day of the week is today? What day is it? It's a Tuesday. Yes. Have a lovely Tuesday. Thank you so much. We'll talk again before the end of the week. We need to talk about something around money, right? We haven't talked about money. We've been talking about all these things of healers and stuff. We need to talk about somewhere during this week. We need to talk about some manifestation stuff. And the moon is looking great for the stuff. Actually, we should do that Thursday. So probably Thursday we'll have another live video. Thank you so much, guys. Have a lovely day. Bye-bye.